Hi everybody, today we're going to be having a look at how to create a flowline map in ArcGIS Online. So the first thing that I've done is I've actually got some data of countries that show migration around the world to Australia. So just to kind of give you an overview, this is what it looks like. So I'm looking at data from the United Kingdom, India, China, Philippines, Sri Lanka, all these different countries. I've also got the number of migrants that actually come to Australia. And what I've done is I've basically just uploaded it to ArcGIS Online through the add layer from file, and chosen my CSV file. So what we've got here is if I go over to my layers tab, we can see my flowline map here. Now, the other thing that I need to add is a location where all these flow lines are actually going to. So as I mentioned, they're all emigrating to Australia. So I'm going to go to the add button and I'm going to go create a sketch layer. And the right hand panel is going to open up and I'm going to select the icon that I like. Now I like the new animated icon, so if you would like an animated icon, you can go ahead and go on change symbol, go to categories, and we've got animated symbols right here and you can choose from all the different ones. And of course, because they're animated, they move. Once I've selected the one that I want, I'm going to place it in the middle of Australia because that is the location where all these countries are migrating to. And now if I look over to my layers panel, I've got my sketch layer and I've got my flowline map data. So I can just go ahead and rename this so it's a little bit easier to understand. And I can go rename Australia. And I can keep this as flowline map if I want to, or I can change it to migration data, whatever makes the most sense for me right now. So I've got my pin and I've got my countries with migration data attached to them. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here onto my layers tab and just make sure that I'm selecting my training layer. And then I'm going to go down the right hand side and I'm going to go to analysis. Now, there's 100 different analysis functions that you can use, but in this one, we are actually going to be looking at the tools menu, and we are going to be looking to find locations. So we've got summarize data here, we've got find location data, we've got analyze patterns, use proximity. We're going to be looking at, use proximity because we want to know where people are going to Australia. So we're going to go find closest. Okie dokie. So we've got our two layers here. Now the input layer is where all the other countries are immigrating to. So we will be immigrating to Australia. And our layer for near is going to be our training data. So that is the layer that the other countries are moving to Australia. Okay. So I'm going to go down here, and in measurement type, it's got drive time. I'm not really interested in drive time because I'm interested in creating a line graph. So I'm going to choose line distance. I want to uncheck limit the number of closest locations because we just want it to do it for all the locations. And I'm also going to limit the search range for 100 kilometers because I think we all know that these countries are much more than 100 kilometers away from Australia. I'm then going to give it an output name, so flowline map. Choose the folder that I want to save it into. And then once I'm happy with it, I can go ahead and click run. Now, depending on how big our data set is, this could take a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. We've only got 10 places, so it's not going to take very long. And we can see up here on the history clock that it's currently running our analysis. So in a second, on the left-hand side here, we're going to get a brand new layer appear. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and turn this current data off, those red dots, so that it doesn't impact when our new layer forms. Okay, we can see now that that's complete, and we can see that our line map has now defaulted all those points to Australia. However, you can see that they're pretty much all the same size, okay? So how do we get them to be changed to show the most migrants coming from a country? We go over to our layers panel, and this is our new layer here. We can see this is our old layer, our Australia pin, this is our new layer, okay? I can drop this down and you can see there's a couple of features here. So we've got nearest feature. If I click that off, you can see those points disappear. And then we've got connecting lines. And if I click those off, you can see they disappear as well. If I choose the connecting lines one, I can actually go ahead and go to our styles option and do exactly the same steps that we would do for any kind of styling of our maps. Okay, I'm going to just close this panel on the left so we can see better. I'm going to go ahead and choose my attribute that these lines are showing. Okay, so in this case, we are showing number of migrants. That's what we're interested in. We want to see the number of migrants. So I'm going to go ahead and press add. And you can see now that the lines are different widths. So what we can do from here is we can keep it on our different styles, counts and amount size. We can choose any of the other below. We can go in and actually change our styling options. We can go down and classify our data so that the legend is in natural breaks or equal breaks, whatever it is that you want to change it to. Beautiful. And then we can also change the style. So you might want to change each individual color to a different line. So maybe you want to change the thickest one to a specific color. You can just do that by clicking on the dot and changing the color to whatever it is that you want it to be. You can see now the country with the most migrants to Australia is the United Kingdom. I feel like I'm speaking for my entire country doing this, being from the UK. But you can see now that I can change that color. If I wanted to change them all, so maybe you want to keep the same styling, my dots are those like pinky purple colors, so I can go into styles, and instead of choosing them one at a time, I can actually just change all of them at the same time. I can choose whatever style and arrow that I want. Do I want a dash line? Do I want arrows on it? And I can choose the colors, maybe keeping them with that nice purple theme. Press done when I'm happy with it and lock in my data. And now you can see we've created a beautiful flowline map for migration to Australia using a CSV file and using our analysis function.